Heavy Cardboard, Episode 6, Master of Economy. Coming to you from Denver headquarters of Gen Cant 2014 in beautiful Denver, Colorado. Welcome to Heavy Cardboard, where we talk medium and heavy strategy board games, war games, eventually 18XX, and other related topics in the board gaming hobby. We're your hosts. He's Tony.
He's Edward.
So yeah, welcome to episode 6. Today's feature game is going to be the Polish economic game, Master of Economy.
I am so excited to be back to our regular format.
Dude, seriously, it feels like, I realize we're still fairly new at this, but even so, we've been recording on a pretty regular basis.
With pod blasts.
Sure.
And our anticipated game list.
Yeah, with the 2014 preview show, because we recorded like a double episode, basically been a month since we recorded, so it's nice to get back in the saddle, you know?
Yes, it is. Well, let's tell the folks how to get a hold of us, because it's been a little bit since they might have heard that from us.
So, our website, heavycardboard.com. Our email is heavycardboard@gmail.com.
Facebook, Heavy Cardboard, and Twitter, @HeavyCardboard.
And definitely, please rate us on iTunes and maybe leave some feedback either there, email, so on and so forth. You guys know the gig. So, without further ado.
Yes, sir.
Start us off.
All right. Let's talk about some games that we have acquired, both you and I, in these past, like a month. It's been a month since we've recorded a normal episode. So yeah. In that month,
there's been 1 or 7 or 8 or something on my end.
With a 1 or 2 in front. No.
I'm not going to hit on all of them, but
please, because we want to keep this under like 2 hours.
Seriously, right?
All right, so let me tell you what I've acquired, and then I will turn the microphone over to you, good sir.
All right. Oh, speaking of microphone. Oh, if you guys haven't noticed, hopefully you have, we got a new microphone. It wasn't cheap, but hopefully it's worth it. So please let us know some way, some form or fashion if you guys can tell a difference. Because I'll be honest, I really don't listen to the episodes, because every time I hear myself, I cringe. So, yeah.
Funny. I don't listen to the episodes for the same reason, but I'm forced to edit them. And every time I hear myself, I cringe.
Well, so far you haven't done too bad of a job editing, or else we would have heard about it.
All right, so the games we've acquired.
Yep.
I want everybody to know that I am so happy to have added Madeira to my personal collection.
It's about time, you mooch.
I know. It's just one of my favorites. It's totally awesome. We did a killer episode on it.
Yeah, it was our first episode,
one.
Right.
And huge fan of the game. And it's in my possession. My buddy Matt and I just played it the other day. He's a converted fan. That was his first play.
We
played 2-player, and it was awesome. I also have acquired the little micro game Province.
Yeah, you were telling me about that when I came over the other day when we played our most recent play of Master of Economy.
It's pretty cool. I've played it a couple times. Like the first time, you're just trying to figure out what's going on, and boom, it's over in 15 minutes. And then the second time, you're like really being careful about manipulating the Mancala to not give the other guy advantages, and boom, it's over in 15 minutes. It's actually pretty cool.
So it's strategic filler.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
you can take it to a bar, restaurant, whatever,
right.
Banging out while your, appetizers aren't at the table yet,
That still seems so weird to me.
What?
I mean, okay, like imagine, I guess it depends on the type of restaurant you go to. Like, I couldn't imagine breaking that out
at
like
Shanahan's.
Yeah, it just, that would just seem so weird to me. But I guess if you're going to somewhere a little bit lighter, like Texas Roadhouse or something, kitschy like that or whatever.
At Shanahan's, I'll take a steak, a scotch, and some Province. Except for I really won't eat the steak. So
you are so weird. All right. Anyway, what else?
Off topic. Impulse.
Yes, that's on both of our lists.
With Matt being around right now, I have played Impulse like 8 times with him in the week that I've had it.
Well, must be nice. I'm jealous. We haven't played it that much. We played it 4-player and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, the interesting thing on that is we both now have copies. Yours is the actual production copy, and I got mine in a BGG auction for super cheap in pre-production, and there's really no difference between them.
Just one little shape on the back of the card, gates, but
who cares?
That's
the
it.
Box.
That's it.
And that's
right,
it.
Box.
So yeah.
But we're going to talk a bit about Impulse And then, Jessica won.
Your daughter.
My daughter. She won she took second place in the Lupin Louis contest at Conclave of Gamers 2014. And so she won a $25 gift certificate and said, here, find me something you'll think I'll like.
Rock on.
And I got her Madame Ching by your favorite designer, Bruno Cathala.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I have nothing against the guy. He just doesn't design guys in my wheel. Or design guys? Really?
Edit.
Anyway, no. Design games that are in my wheelhouse.
So I learned Madame Ching. We played it a couple times. She loves it.
So Madame Ching loves the game?
Madame Ching, also known as Jessica.
Okay.
AKA, she loves it. It's pretty cool. It's a light family card game. It's interesting, but it's not heavy cardboard material.
Sure, but at the same time, this is also the girl. Now, keep in mind, your daughter's in college, so it's not like, we're not talking, young kid. Well, yeah, whatever. She also likes Rococo. She loves that. So
she owns 2 games,
okay.
Madame Ching and Tigris and Euphrates. Opposite ends of the scales.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, let's hear it. I got a fresh drink here. What have you acquired?
Well, so obviously I already touched on Impulse. Got that. I haven't played it but once. Sadly, right. It's been a nuts week and a half or so since I've gotten the game. We only played it that 4-player.
Right.
I think it plays more than that too, and we'll get into that.
Yeah, we're gonna talk some Impulse.
Yes. So other things I've gotten, I'll just run through and touch on them real briefly. Battle for Souls, really unique theme on a 2-player card game, deck builder type game. And literally one side's the angels, the other side's the demons, and you're battling for souls. I haven't played it yet, but the reviews on it were pretty cool. Yeah. And again, unique theme. Sure, sign me up. Rolling Freight, I got at the Conclave auction. Train, route building, little bit of luck with the dice, but doesn't look too bad. We need to get that to the table sometime soon, I'm hoping.
Yeah, lucky dice notwithstanding, that's one I'm interested in trying out.
Cool. Another one is 7 Ages. I got it for a song, which I'm so excited about. It's a Civ, similar in some ways to History of the World, the old Avalon Hill game. Could also kind of say somewhat similar to Civilization, the big Francis Tresham game.
7 Ages it's a long game too, right?
Oh, 7 minutes, it says on the box. It could go as short as 7 minutes or 2 days.
Are you serious?
So, 7 minutes? It really says that. Now, if that happens, obviously you're gonna reset, start over. But apparently it can happen. It's Australian design group. It's the same guys who made World in Flames, Days of Decision, stuff like that. Empire in Arms. And so, cool. Think Empire in Arms. World in Flames. Yeah, anyway. The other ones, I saved the other big 3 for the end here. Metropolis or Metropolis.
Yes.
It's an abstract... How would you describe it? You've played it.
I have not.
I've
only seen it played once.
Really?
The one time you've played it.
I saw it. Auction bidding game, where area control, you're putting down little buildings on the board. The artwork's terrible on the board. Really just garish.
Supposed to be pretty cool though.
But it's an abstract and I bought it. What does that tell you?
Yeah.
So yeah, really, really excited about that. And then the last 2 are Greed Inc. Splatter, right? To where basically you're a CEO and then you do everything in your power to boost the company up, then tank it and run away. Get fired. You need to get fired and try and golden parachute type thing. It's supposed to have a fair amount of luck, but it's a splatter and hell yeah, sign me up. For the price I paid, absolutely. Last but not least, and honestly the one I'm most excited about, is the one that I have set up in front of us here.
Yes.
Because Amanda and I are going to bust out a 2-player game of it mañana, and that is Craftsman.
Awesome.
Yeah, super, super excited about it.
Me too.
If you're listening to this podcast and you enjoy our type of game, here's what you need to know. Vassal said it was a terrible game. It was complexity for complexity's sake. And Rado said, what was it?
He said it melted his head.
Right. He appreciated it. He respected the design, but it's too heavy for him and his wife.
He said they, quote unquote, couldn't handle it.
Right. So sign us.
So we want to try. Is it Saturday yet?
Right. Seriously.
I know you're going to play tomorrow, but I'm not going to get to play till Saturday.
Right. And Saturday, we'll get into that. So yeah, that's all. Just a couple games that I've acquired recently.
Saturday's going to be a good day.
Yeah. So,
right on.
What you've been playing? Okay, we talked about what we acquired.
Yeah. Clearly, I've been playing a lot of Impulse, as mentioned.
Right.
But the last few weeks have been pretty busy with me work-wise and side work-wise and stuff like that. And I haven't had a ton of gaming opportunity, but I have been able to play Caverna a few times.
Cool.
Which is a lot of fun. It's not Agricola in my mind, but it's still a lot of fun. And just little stupid smaller games and things like that, teaching the wife, teaching the kid. But the one I'm really excited that I finally got a chance to play was at Conclave of Gamers 2014. That was Endeavour.
Oh,
so
okay.
That one's on my list. I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. I'm definitely looking for a copy of Endeavour and enjoyed the hell out of it.
It's easy to acquire as long as you're willing to pay for it.
I'm willing to pay for it.
Really? It was that good?
It was. Yeah, we played a 4-player and it was a blast. And I think with 5 is where it's probably going to be best, and then less good with 2 or 3, right?
Okay. Well, so tell me a little bit about it. I mean, I have it on my wish list, but to be honest with you, I have like 260 games on my wish list. So remembering specifics about all of them,
it's a colonialism theme, and you're building up your empire and your empire's capabilities, and you're trying to do some area control things on the map, connect cities and fortresses, and control the links between them. And obviously, some of the capabilities you can buy are warfare. And, to crush the opponent's attempts at doing so. And there's some cool card play. And it's really, really brutal sometimes and fun.
Is it heavy? Would you?
Medium,
maybe?
I would call it medium.
Yeah. Okay.
I would call it medium. But some people might call it heavy just because, I don't know, some people think war games are all heavy,
Right. Well, not all of them.
Combat and stuff like that. But what about you?
Well, speaking of Conclave, one game, and we pod blasted about this, and this is going to be no surprise to anybody who's listened to the summer preview stuff. Hands in the Sea by Daniel Berger. Only got a partial game.
Okay.
Of it in.
With me.
Yeah. And it's based on, or not, it's inspired by, A Few Acres of Snow, Martin Wallace's game, and just, between the game design and the theme being the First Punic War, I loved what we were able to play it. I loved what we were able to play of it.
Right.
Kind of bummed that time didn't work out. We didn't get a full game in or more.
It really had some cool stuff going.
Yeah, but so excited about that, but excited to have at least finally seen it, laid hands on it, and messed around with it a little, grokked it a little.
Want to get our hands in the sea.
Yeah. Another one, and again, pod blasted about this one too, but that's Colonialism.
Yes.
A fairly new release. I think it was Essen last year, from Spielworks. And if you want to know more about it, go check out the pod blast. I don't want to.
Fun, cool game.
Yeah, really, really cool. A lot of people compare it to El Grande. However, I feel like it has similarities in that it's area majority type stuff, but the card play in the game is what just blows El Grande out of the water, I think.
It's awesome.
Last but not least is, and I'm going to butcher the pronunciation, Nue Heimat.
That sounds pretty good.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Where's Matt when we need him?
Right, seriously. So, I don't even know how to describe this game.
It is the world's most killer auction game.
Yeah, there you go. Really simple game, really simple rules. You're basically building a suburb of buildings.
Yep.
And you have to put roofs on them. Everything is auctioned.
It's
a closed economy game to where everybody starts with $12 million or $12. And that's all the game, all the money that's in the game.
Money just keeps changing hands.
Yep. And
it sucks when you don't have any.
Being cash poor is limiting in that game. In the game, though, you're building houses. The first time using dice, actually. Each floor of a building is a die, and the first time a die is auctioned, of a certain color. I think there's 6 colors in the game.
Yes.
We'll go with that. It's 6 or 7. First time a block is auctioned or a die is auctioned off, whoever wins that auction owns that color for the whole game. And it could be positive or negative depending on whether or not, at the end of the game, whether the row that building is in is completed or not. And the cool thing about it is if you have a lot of high pip numbered dice in there, that it'll be lower on the building. The only thing that matters on these dice is the top die. So if I have yellow and green...
The color of it.
Yeah, the color of it, right. So if I have the control of yellow and green, I have a yellow on the bottom, a green in the middle, and there's a red one on top, and you're red, you own all that.
That building is now my responsibility.
And it's either going to be
for good or for ill.
Positive or negative points at the end of the game. Yeah. The very first time I played it, 4 of the 5 were all negative points. So, I mean, it was just so much good and so brutal.
So let me reference 2 Matthews.
Okay.
On one, our friend Matthew said he was lucky to get out of that round with 0 points.
Right. Yeah, he was thrilled.
And then our other friend Matthew, well, we need to check on him because wasn't he with the German boss that was going to import us some copies?
Mm-hmm.
We need to check on that Thursday.
Yep. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing. Again, it's been a crazy couple weeks here after the conclave, and work's been nuts, so on and so forth. So that's what we've been playing, Is there anything, I shouldn't say is there, because we both are hunting a million games right now.
I.e. last 2 episodes.
Right, seriously, 42 games in that, I think.
Well, I'm not hunting all 42. There were
sure, and I'm not either.
Turkeys in there.
Somebody's got to do the research for this thing. Come on now.
Some turkeys that I didn't put on the list.
Anyway, so what are you looking forward to?
My fair share.
Or what are you hunting?
The 2 games that I'm looking for are
actively looking for,
okay. And they're easy to pull the trigger on. I'm just spacing my fund dispersal.
Okay,
are Endeavour,
okay,
and A Study in Emerald, because both were going to be
awesome,
$80 to $100, right?
Sweet, because I'm looking forward to trying A Study in Emerald,
Me
and
too,
I don't want to break bread because I don't know if I'll like it.
Yeah, but I figured I'll get some money back out, right?
Oh yeah, no doubt. So, rock on.
But it's Wallace. Some cool looking card deck building stuff. Give it a fly.
It's Wallace meets Cthulhu, right? Or is it? Yeah. So I'm really
not
surprised.
A Cthulhu guy.
I know. I'm really surprised that interests you.
Well, the Wallace and the card play interests me.
Fair enough.
The tentacles, whatever. What about you?
There's 3. It's not so much really hunting because I either own one of them or I will have the other 2 in the house this week. The first one is, like we mentioned, Craftsman. That I'm so excited to play this game.
You've hunted it. Now let's eat it.
Right, pretty much. So looking forward to, if you will. And the other 2 is our number 1 game that we were so looking forward to, and that's Panamax.
Oh, yeah. And when will that be here?
Thursday.
Yes.
Our buddy...
And when are we playing it?
Well, we're playing it Friday. You and I are playing...
Wait a minute. I can come over Friday.
Oh, you can?
Why the hell not?
Okay, so we're playing it Friday and Saturday.
All right.
So yeah, Panamax, like I said, was both of our number 1 most looked forward to game of the year. And our good buddy Brian drove, which is insane to me. He drove from Denver, Colorado to Indianapolis for Gen Con, although I think we had just as much fun at Gen Can't, but whatever. He drove there. And I sent him with a list of things to at least check out. And hey, if you happen to get there early enough and happen to see a copy of Panamax available, hey, why don't you go ahead and scoop that up?
Yes.
And so he did. So rock on. And I still have my pre-order. Keeping the pre-order.
Yeah, same here.
So yeah, super jonesing, obviously, to bust that out this weekend. And last but not least is what's probably going to be in 2 episodes, if we can get enough plays in before then, and that is Fire in the Lake.
Oh, did you get your shipping notice?
No, but I never do. I'll usually get the shipping notice the day it arrives.
Really?
Yeah, that's
GMT. On UPS My Choice?
No big
My
baller.
UPS?
No, sorry.
Yeah. Mine will be here Wednesday.
Rock on. So mine should be here Tuesday to Thursday. Right? Cool. And for those that don't know, which I don't know how you could, but for those that don't know, it's the latest in the Coin series from GMT, Coin being the counterinsurgency game. And with Fire in the Lake, that is set in Vietnam, and it has the U.S. versus the NVA versus the Viet Cong versus the ARVN. And yeah, that's going to be our first war game featured review once we can get enough plays in it. 2 episodes, we're hoping.
Yeah.
Because the next episode, obviously, is going to be Panamax. So you wanted to talk a little bit more about the game you've been, intravenously injecting.
Freebasing it.
And that's Impulse.
Impulse. Yeah. It's not a heavy game, and it's not going to get that kind of love on heavy cardboard. But I want to talk about it a little bit because I've been playing it a lot, and this game deserves some love.
Okay. I mean, I'm a fan. I bought it, obviously.
Yeah.
So, yeah, shoot.
If you don't know about Impulse, let me help you learn a little bit more about it. It's a 2 to 4 player game, and I think that experienced players add about 20 minutes. Per player, 20 minutes.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Gotcha.
Maybe a little more time as you're building up your experiences in the game. The game's designer is Carl Chuddick. He made Innovation and Glory to Rome. A couple of terrific, especially Glory to Rome. I've never played Innovation.
Same here. Yeah, I love Glory to Rome. I haven't played Innovation.
Dude, this is right up in there. So what's happening in the game is you're exploring space, you're mining and refining minerals, you're building technologies, and you're battling the other players' cruisers and transport ships to prevent them from doing the same.
It's modeled as a 4X game in like 30 minutes to an hour, right?
Yeah, 20 plus minutes per player.
Okay, yeah.
So here's what's cool, because this is all you need to do to win. It's easy. You have to build a lot of transport ships so you can execute a bunch of awesome actions. But you got to keep those transport ships safe. And you need to explore space to place awesome action cards down for your transports to activate. And you need to mine all 4 colors of minerals so that you can boost your actions. And you need to refine and trade those minerals for victory points, but don't refine or trade too many and run low and lose your action boosts. And build lots of cruisers to do that protection of your transport ships, but more importantly, hunt down enemy transports and cruisers and kill them for victory points, and dominate the sector core for victory points, and research technologies that give you more awesome actions, and plan additional awesome actions like your very own private impulse row that lets you execute extra plays on your turn, and add a card to the impulse row that only helps you do more awesome actions and doesn't help all your opponents do awesome actions, and manipulate the hand of cards you're dealing with, deciding what to keep, what to plan, what to place in the impulse, what to research, and never be card poor. Ever. So good freaking luck.
No problem. Where the problem at?
Yeah. It's quick play. It's a pile of fun. There's tough decisions.
Which is crazy. It's quick play. I know this. Yeah. I haven't played it. And you just listed like 10 different things that you feel like you need to do in this game, and you can do like 2.
It's got enough tough decisions that a heavy gamer can respect it.
Oh, yeah. I loved it. I really enjoyed it. And I'll be honest, when I heard it marketed last year, I want to say Spiel or Essen last year. I know I heard about it come BGG Con time last year. People were in love with this game, saying, hey, it's a 4X game in like 30 minutes to an hour. And I'm like, how the hell are you going to do that? Mm-hmm. I mean, yes, I realize that Carl Chuddick is like a master of the being able to have a million different abilities in this one card and being able to use it different ways.
Right.
But, dude, come on. And, yeah, dude, I'll be damned if he didn't do it.
A card can be used so many ways, right? The card only does, 1 or 2 things. It's just the way that you can do those 1 or 2 things is tenfold.
Right.
And that's why you don't want to be card poor. Because if you find yourself with 2 or 3 cards in your hand, you are definitely a slave to what you draw. But when you manage the game so that your hand of cards is approaching the limit of 10, the game is your oyster. You have options. And that's what you require in this game is options. And it is freaking ruthless. Sure, you can play peacefully and negotiate. Oh, please don't blow up my ships. And that's fine, but the game can be ruthless. When you're playing with Matthew and I, don't leave your transports unguarded.
Yeah, I found that out.
They're gone, man.
I mean, In our 4-player game, Matt was on my left, and I left a couple of them, and then he just chained a whole bunch of stuff together, and all of a sudden I'm down to 2 ships, and I'm like, awesome, thanks.
Yeah.
Way to teach the newbie. No, but I appreciated it, because that's the best way to learn, right? Throw it in the deep end and see if you can swim. I didn't swim.
One of the cool things about this game is you never know how big your opponent's turn is going to be, because of the way the actions can chain together from the map, from the impulse row, from the research actions, and from their planned actions. It's just, you just don't know. And that variability is pretty exciting and terrifying at the same time.
Cool, man. Yeah, I'm anxious to play more of it, that's for sure.
For scalability notes, 4 I think is the most I'd play with.
It plays 6, right?
I'd
rather shoot myself.
Well, the board is so small with 6, I just don't think it'd be fun if you were the 5th or 6th player.
Because the impulse is only 4 cards long,
right?
By
the time that other 5 players get along, shoot, you might not have any boats left. You're out the game. I don't know. I just am totally not interested in playing it with 5 or 6.
Yeah, I think 2 to 4.
As not interested as I am not in playing with 5 or 6, I so want to play this with 3. 4 was cool, and 2 is awesome, and I think 3 is just going to be perfect.
Okay, cool. Good deal, man.
For me, this game's a 4.
Wow.
This is a 4.
Everybody should own it.
Everyone should own it. There is so much game in this $20 box.
And it's easy to find right now. I mean, $20 and a great game to boot?
Yeah, you can't beat that.
Cool.
And that's Impulse. I know that you've recently acquired Kaigan.
Right, I forgot to mention that. Should mention that. Yeah, Kaigan.
Duly noted. Added to Edge list. And you've gotten some plays in of Kaigan, and you want to talk some more about it.
Yeah, I don't want to go as in-depth as you did on Impulse, because I only have 1 play of it, to be honest. Okay. But it was cool enough that I wanted to at least mention it. So Kaigan, it's designed by Kenichi Tanabe. Originally published by, I'm going to butcher this one, but Takamagahara, which is the
Easy
Japanese.
For you to say.
Right. But most recently, Ascora Games, and I think Ascora, unfortunately, has gone out of business. I want to say this was published in 2010, 2011, originally.
Sure.
It plays 3 to 4 players, and it plays in about 90 minutes or so, which in our 1 play, we played 3-player, and it definitely came in that time frame, okay. So that seems reasonable. In the game, the players are overseeing a team of surveyors, and you compete against one another, and your goal is you're mapping the coast of Japan back around the turn of the 19th century. How many games do you know have that theme?
That one.
Right? And I actually found out about it by luck. Right place, right time. I had never heard of this game, and there was 1 copy available. It was an awesome price. So I was like, okay, for $20, I'll take the risk.
Shoot, yeah.
And if it sucks, so be it. But I did some quick research on it, and it looked really cool. Everybody starts with the same deck of cards or hand of cards. And the game's kind of split into 2 different halves. In the first half, you're playing cards out from your hand into this grid on the left board, if you will. And at any time, you can, when you're doing this, you must do one thing, you can do another. You must play a card from your hand onto the board, and I want to say it's a 4x4 grid. All right? So you play a card, and at the second action that you may do is you may claim a row of cards. And once you claim that row, you no longer play cards. You're basically passing for the next or for the rest of that round until everyone is done claiming a row. So you keep going until somebody claims a row. Then they're out, and then the other players keep playing cards down until everyone's claimed 1 row. In a 3-player game, there's only 3 rows available. The 4th one's blocked out. With the 4-player, you have that 4th right. So then that's going to dictate what actions you can do on this turn.
It sounds like what you're saying is you have your choice of when to claim a row and therefore pass. So like you can get greedy for some good cards while the other players can wait a little bit and get more cards and stuff like that.
Right. So you might really need this 1 or 2 cards that have been played, so you claim it early.
Jump on it.
So maybe you only have 1 or 2 actions in this coming when you actually execute these cards that you're claiming, regardless of whose cards they were. If they're in your row, you're the one using them this turn.
Right.
So, but the cool thing is, if you're the last one to claim it, you're going to have the entire grid filled because you get to keep playing cards. But it might not,
some of the actions might be suboptimal, but
not only that,
still make some use of it, and you got 4
the
of them.
order in which the cards are played out in your row matters.
Oh.
Because the way it's executed, if you're looking at the map, a grid in your head, and like grid A1 is the top left corner, going across A2, A3, A4, and then going down 1, 2, 3, whatever. The very first card is executed, which is in the top left corner. If there's no card there, you just move down. Okay. So then the next player, he executes his first card. Then the next player. Then you go to the second card. So the order in which these are executed matters.
So and it's like team turn programming. And you select your program?
Yeah, that's exactly a damn good way to explain it, actually. Wow. And so, but the cool thing is if every card is two-sided, all of the backs are the same. They all have the exact same kind of, okay, if you don't want to do the front, you can always do the back. And if you don't want to do that, you can just choose to not do anything.
So there's a default option.
Yeah, right.
That's cool.
And so that's the first half of the round. The second half of the round is then playing or doing the actions that are on those cards, whether it's placing workers, your team of surveyors out onto, there are 8 or 10. God, I'm doing a terrible job here.
No
there are 8 or 10.
You only have 1 play under your belt. It's perfectly good.
There are 8 or 10 tiles that represent a portion of the Japanese coast that you're trying to survey. So when you execute these cards, you have to place surveyors onto the individual tiles that you're going to try and score. These tiles score once the requisite number of cubes, I forget the actual nomenclature of them, are on the card. They're scored, I think, 2 to 4 or 2 to 5 points each, and that means that combined between all the players, once there are the 2 to 5, however many the card says, of those cubes of the different players on there, no more can be placed on there, and it's been surveyed. It's good to go. It's ready to go. And when we get to the next phase, they're going to be scored. And so you have to have these surveyors on there, which are meeples. You have to place your meeples on there, which your cards give you the ability to place the meeples. And then other cards, depending on how much money you want to spend, let you place 1, 2, 3 of these cubes onto these cards to be able to score points. There are 3 tracks that you try and advance for victory points, but it's basically played over a couple of rounds, and then whoever has the most points or influence, honor, whatever, at the end wins. Awesome. Really cool mechanic. Like, I like the way you worded that it was a
action programming.
Yeah, a group action programming to where you want to place cards that help you, or maybe you put it in a suboptimal spot, or what you think will be a suboptimal spot for an opponent, try and entice them to claim that row when you're not even really trying to go for that one. And it's just wicked cool. I really dug it. The artwork's really cool. Not really easily accessible. Like I said, I live on BGG, and I hadn't heard of this game until it popped up in a hot deal. But now I see there are a couple of copies, $50, $60. Would I spend that? Yeah, I probably would, to be honest. I definitely recommend trying before buying. For me, it's a 3.
Oh.
Tentative. Granted, I've only played it once, so take that with a grain of salt. But I really was that card mechanism, the programming. Yeah. It's not like Ricochet Robots or anything like that programming-wise. It's just it was really unique and a lot of fun. Amanda loved it. Everybody who played, I'm trying to think, Amanda and I think it was Robert played it with us, and both of them loved it. So that's cool. Kaigan by Escora Games.
All right, guys, now it's time to talk about Master of Economy.
Edward, I'm really excited to talk about Master of Economy with you because I feel like as we went through our plays as a group in preparation for this episode, that it stirred up all kinds of different emotions in us, much like I read comments about the game on BGG and forums.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. We were going to have our buddy Matt join us tonight, but he was indisposed.
Indeed.
So he couldn't make it because he had very opinionated views on this as well.
He did.
And hopefully we'll be able to convey, even though he's not here to talk, give his opinion of it. I think he conveyed that enough to us after our last play when we sat around talking for 15 minutes after the game.
He's a pretty active follower of us on Twitter too, so there'll be lots of opportunities for
him to chime in.
Chime in on Twitter and stuff too.
So let's roll into it.
Yeah, so Master of Economy was published in 2010 by Alchemicus Games out of Poland. It was designed by Andrzej Kurik, and the artist was Paweł Klus. The player count on this game is 2 to 4 players. On BGG, it's listing 120 minutes, but you know what? In our, 5 plays I think we did?
Yep.
I didn't really keep track, did you?
I didn't, except for our very last one. The
3-player.
Right. We played 3-player, and it banged out literally 2 minutes short of 2 hours. Okay. So I think that's close.
Yeah.
It might be maybe 2.5 at most.
Give or take your AP and...
Yeah.
And whether you're learning it or experience.
Right. And that included rehashing the rules for Matt and stuff and everything. So I think the 2 hours is pretty...
Fair enough.
Pretty good ballpark, at least.
Speaking of that 3-player game, and all of our other plays were 4-player, with regards to scalability, I thought the 3-player game was fine, but it certainly had less interaction than the 4-player game. So I would really prefer, next time I play MOE, to play 4 players, and I would never want to play 2.
I feel exactly the same. 4-player, I feel like there's more interaction and there's more risk involved in going later regarding the market action, which we'll get into.
Yeah, but that's the scalability, right? Like, does the game still play as interestingly at the different player counts? And I don't think it does.
If I'm going to play this, I would prefer to play it 4-player. Like, going back a couple episodes when when the main game was Democker, and we were talking about that, we said 3 players or less, find another game.
Right.
4-player, still a great game.
Yes.
5-player, though, it really sung. Right. So, unlike that game, here, 3 players, it just felt a little uninspired in the market.
Yeah.
But
part of that on that game with the 3-player was part of my play style in that game, but we'll talk about that.
Right.
So let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the game. Let our listeners know in case they are uninformed. In Master of Economy, you're the CEO of a manufacturing company, and you're also the majority shareholder of that company, and you're directing the actions, the business of that company during the game. The game lasts only for 4 rounds or until one player has advanced their share price to $4 per share. None of our games, interestingly enough, ended at $4 per share, although that last one almost did.
Yep. Had I not embezzled, yes, it probably would have. Right.
Crook you. Each round in the game is a mirror image of itself almost. The game round begins with a phase of buying and selling factories, and then a phase of producing resources with those factories, and then a phase of buying and selling the resources in the marketplace. Then in the middle of the round, there's a company business phase, and then you repeat buying and selling factories, repeat producing goods, repeat selling and buying goods in the marketplace, and then at the end of the round, there's a shareholder business round. And then you repeat that for the 4 rounds. At the end of the game, only your personal money is the victory condition, and that's really the sum of your cash on hand. It's the cash out of all the different company shares that you own, company assets, etc. So let's talk a little bit about the rounds themselves and give the listeners a flavor of what's going on in the game. When you're buying and selling factories, there's 6 different kinds of goods that the factories can produce. And a company can have as many as 4 factories of any of those types. So you could have a crap ton. You could have 24 factories out there.
Never going to happen.
Never going to happen.
Right.
Those factories will produce resources by being fed particular resources that they require in order to output a different type of resource. For example, if you got a factory that takes in coal and puts out energy, that factory's probably a power plant.
Right.
And so you put in one coal, you get out 2 energy. So that's pretty much how all the factories work, just with different combinations of input and output resources. So those resources that you crank out of your factories, they're either kept, you can store them in your warehouse for future consumption, or...
Except for energy.
Except for energy. That's a fair point. You can't really store energy in this game. The goods that you decide not to store, you can take to the marketplace and sell them. When you sell resources in the marketplace, your company not only earns money for the resources sold, but every resource cube you sell in the marketplace will advance your token up this track. And the track is divided into 4 segments. And as you advance, your share price creeps from $1 to $2 to $3 to $4.
And when you say creep, you mean creep.
Oh, yeah. It will take 4 turns to get near $4 a share.
Right.
Potentially, unless you're just killing it. Here is where the game gets critical, and I think the game really has a very elegant mechanism to model the supply and demand with that marketplace. When you're selling in the marketplace, you put markers on that board to indicate what goods you're going to try to sell at what prices. And every time goods are sold, the foreign demand is reduced.
And there's a little marker on there that every time something's sold, it jumps 1 spot going down that track.
But goods are sold in order of what's being offered at the lowest price. So there's this little economic dance of trying to figure out who's selling what on the marketplace. Because remember, you're placing your markers out there in turn order. So if you're first, you really got to take a look at the board and see who might be selling what. Put your markers in the spots that you're going to maximize the amount of money you're going to get for selling that cube, but not get screwed by somebody undercutting you in price and feeding that demand and leaving you without the ability to sell that resource.
Right. And I think that's one of the coolest aspects of this game is that marketplace and the juggling that you have to do between the desire for money, which obviously your company is going to need to be able to buy more factories or to buy more goods later on in that trade round, because the goods go from least valuable to most valuable, if you will, but every good obviously drives different manufacturing factories.
The other cool thing you can do in the marketplace is you can buy goods from the market as well. And this is particularly handy if other players are selling those goods in the marketplace.
So like if a good normally, if no one was selling it and you're just buying it outright, might cost $3.
Right, like ore costs $3 for 1 cube of ore.
If somebody's selling ore and they wanted to go super safe, they wanted to make sure that they couldn't get undercut and that they are for sure selling their item, they might price it at $1.
Right.
So now, if I'm the one who's buying the ore and Tony's the one selling the ore, I only have to pay him $1 or his company, I should say, not him. I pay his company $1. His share price goes up, or the track advances.
The track advances.
And his company also sold that good to me for $1. So I saved myself $2 by doing that.
And here's what's cool, because you're always buying and selling in the marketplace generally, because sometimes you need to buy the things that your factories aren't producing in order to feed those other factories to make the other things that you're really selling. The cool thing about when you buy goods from the marketplace and you end up purchasing them from another player is it doesn't satisfy the foreign demand.
So that marker doesn't move up.
The marker doesn't move. So there's this cool play you can do sometimes where...
And I did this in my last play.
I'm going to put some markers down to buy some goods, and I'm going to put some markers down to sell some goods at a higher price in hope that, I can manipulate that market.
To make sure that I can still sell them.
What I'll do, I'll end up buying the cheaper versions of those products that my competitors are selling at the marketplace for a freaking $1, while I go selling them for $2 and $3, the ones I made. Yep. To the foreign demand.
Yeah, I think that's a really sexy, really cool way to implement that that the designer did. Very elegant.
Yes.
I hate using that word, but
it is overused, but it is.
But yeah, it's an elegant way to abstractly incorporate a foreign demand for your products. I thought that was really cool.
I think turn order is very, very significant when it comes to the marketplace because, honestly, there's times when you want to go first and you want to grab some certain spots on the marketplace, certain prices and stuff like that. And there's times when you want to go last and see where the market is falling out so that you can do some purchases, or it's very strategic. So at the end of one turn, you need to think about what you want the turn order to be in the next turn for that marketplace.
And with it only having 4 rounds, you have to keep in mind there's actually 8 marketplace.
Yeah.
Or eight times you're going to go to the marketplace twice per round. And that turn order only resets at the very end. So whatever that turn order is for this turn, it's going to be going to the market twice.
You got to live with it twice.
So you have to try and be able to think far enough ahead to where you think, okay, if I go first this, but I'm really going to want to go last the second time, okay, which is more important?
Right. So during the turn, both the company and the players are going to have different opportunities to buy and sell shares of stock in the different companies that the players are operating. Your personally owned shares of all the different companies are really your investment for in-game dividend payments and end-game points, and could lead to you operating more than one company or maybe no companies if you are no longer the majority shareholder in the company you started with.
You start out with having 10 shares of the company that you're the CEO for. And that's your personal, because you start with no money. You start with 10 shares.
10 shares.
But you start with
zero
no money.
cash.
But your company, however, is pretty flush with cash, but it starts with no factories.
Company-owned shares of other companies are an investment by a company in the other companies, but it is also an interesting tool that the players can use to manipulate the other CEOs, making it harder for them to pay dividends because you have to have enough money to cover outstanding shares when you're paying the dividends. And so the more outstanding shares there are, the harder it is for that company to have enough cash to pay out dividends. So you're keeping money out of that CEO's pockets.
For instance, at the very beginning of the game, like I said, you start with 10 shares of your own company. So you must have a minimum of $10 in your company to be able to pay dividends. You can only pay dividends during the shareholders meeting, which is at the very end of each round. As players buy and sell, or mostly buy, stock in your company, so if Tony comes in and he buys 8 shares of my company, I just went from needing $10 in the company to needing $18 in the company. And all of a sudden, now I can't pay dividends. Well, he just literally took that money out of my pocket. Sure, he would get $8 in theory if I were able to, but he makes it tougher because if you're the CEO, more often than not, you're going to be the majority shareholder.
Right.
Not always, unlike, say, in 18XX, where whoever's the majority shareholder automatically is the CEO. That's not necessarily the case in this game. Although, full disclosure, if you will, and this could have been a victim of groupthink, we never had CEOs change in any of our 5 plays of this game.
In our last game, I tried to give away control of my company.
And nobody wanted that piece of crap. So,
well, I was building cardboard galoshes.
You're right. Yeah, that nobody wanted that.
No, so those were not good. So, we've just been talking a lot about the dividends, and dividend payment is a great way for a CEO to put money in his own pocket. And you only want to really do that when it's going to benefit you more than it's going to benefit the other players in the game. And that's why that use of your company to manipulate the other guy's ownership shares and make it harder for them to pay dividends is so important. But then you mentioned it, and I did it like crazy in our last game. You can embezzle from the company if you're the CEO. So, that's going to move your company downward on the little track that marks
share value,
your progress up or down in share value. But you do get a few bucks in your personal coffer. So it's kind of a neat way to steal some money.
And because share prices are so low, like they start at $1 and they stay at $1 for a while, eventually go up to $2, so on and so forth, you're going to... having that $1 or $2 or $3 extra dollars that you can embezzle potentially can be a huge thing because that's 1, 2, or possibly even 3 shares
Correct.
of stock.
You buy somebody else's shares at $1 a throw, and then when they go up to $2, $3, or $4, you've made a lot of money.
Right.
So that's an overview of the flavor of Master of Economy. So what makes this game heavy? This is heavy cardboard. So in general, I think that the factory production stuff isn't necessarily heavy, but it's got some depth to it and some definitely interesting things. It's really kind of fun, too, to look at what the other players are producing and try to produce the things they're not producing, but you are going to have to produce certain things. And then to do that, you have to keep track of what you're making, what your factories consume. You're going to have to deal with that in the marketplace. Do you want to go first, second, third, fourth? I think that has some depth.
Yeah, you got a lot of balls in the air that you're having to juggle. But talking about the whole factory production, that in and of itself can be really, I don't want to say confusing, because that's not, it's very clear, but it can be very easy to mess up. Yeah. Because a coal factory doesn't take coal to drive a coal factory. It takes energy. Right. And to make the energy, you need coal. Right. Like and so no, I bought the wrong thing. Right. No, wait, I thought this produced. Yep. So there's a little bit of, I don't want to say it's not intuitive. It's just, it's a little bit, there's a word I'm not thinking of here. Confusing, I think, just to keep straight in your head that, okay, I'm producing 2 coal and 2 energy. Okay, I need to set aside this 1 coal.
I can't sell this one.
Right, that type thing. And so, yeah, just a lot to juggle with that in and of itself. And that's just factory production.
When there's 4 players that know what's cooking in the game, and all of our companies are humming and we're producing a lot of stuff, that marketplace is extremely tactical and extremely ruthless. And I think that when that happens, that marketplace can get a little heavy.
Absolutely. And with the full player count, like you said, it becomes a much more important decision whether you're going first or whether you're going last or somewhere in the middle, obviously.
And the decisions it's not wrong to be last. It depends on what you're trying to do.
Right. If you're last, you have carte blanche on the trade market. You know where everyone's goods sit, so you know how you can manipulate it. However, if you're going first, you have that unknown. You have 2 or 3 players still to go behind you to place their goods and can manipulate that foreign demand. However, you might get in the catbird seat to where, okay, I know this spot's going to be safe. Looking at what goods are not being produced or that are not being consumed by other players' factories this turn. Right. Okay, I know it's safe to put this coal here at $2
as opposed to 3 coal, and I know he's going to use those. Right. He's not going to go to market with
or
those.
maybe
so I can bet on this, and then damn it,
right? And then I'll be like, you know what? I was going to use it, but now that I see
an opportunity.
Right, I see you put your neck out there. Okay, here, I'm going to cut it. And I am going to go to market with maybe only 1 of those, but maybe that 1 coal is enough.
And fine, I'll buy some more.
Right, to mess up that foreign demand.
And that's that ruthless factor.
Right, and that's where that player order really matters. So you really have to know it's not you can't be wishy-washy. I could go first, I could go last, whatever. No. You better have a defined plan in your head for the upcoming market. And again, you're going to have 2 trips to the marketplace during this round. So wherever you choose that turn order really, really matters.
I think that the way the game handles stock management is wonky, and we're going to talk more about that. But because it's so non-intuitive,
right?
I think that adds some heavy to the game because it takes players a bit to like, what? This money goes where and there, right? It's not normal. It's counterintuitive in some cases, and I think that adds to some of the weight.
Yeah, and not in a good way. It definitely adds. That is pure confusion. Like, wait, I'm buying stock from the company, but I'm not paying the company.
It's not a stock simulation.
No, and that I think is something that needs to be brought up. Is the fact that when economic games in general have a certain connotation. Like when I say, Tony, it's an economic game, something goes into your head and you get a preconceived notion of what that's going to entail. stocks, buying and selling, a stock market, variable prices, so on and so forth. But in this game, while it does have that to a point, it's, like you said, it's almost counterintuitive the way it works in some ways. Mm-hmm. Not all of them, but in some ways. And it's enough to completely trip up a player. And I totally agree. That adds to the complexity.
Yeah.
And I guess weight, but not necessarily a good complexity.
Given the interesting decisions and planning needed with the factory stuff, the tactical, ruthless nature of the marketplace, and the semi-obtuse stock management, that this game does have a fair level of complexity. But once you grok those systems, the complexity comes from, this is not multiplayer solitaire by any means. The interactions in the marketplace and the stock manipulation, the meta games in there, that's where the complexity will come from once you get over all the other stuff. It
will take you a little bit to get over that initial hurdle, like you said, I think.
So let's jump right into that. How long does it take someone to get it, in your opinion? How long did it take you?
Oh, God. 2, maybe 3 games to really wrap my head around it. And I pride myself on being able to be pretty quick on picking games up, but because of that unintuitive way that the stocks are handled in the game, that it's wonky. It's the best way to describe it.
It is.
And so, it took me to maybe not even really to the third game. And if there's too much time in between your plays,
that's exactly right.
It resets.
That's exactly right. Because I felt like after the first game, all right, I got it, right? At the second game, I did really good. But the length of time that passed between all that stuff, our first few plays, and the game we played earlier, what was that, Thursday night or whatever?
Sure.
I forgot all that crap, man.
And okay, there's something wonky about this. What was it? Oh, yeah, it's this.
And that's why I forgot it, because of the wonky.
Right, yep.
One thing I dig about this game is the luck factor.
Yeah, because there isn't any.
Yeah, it's zero, nada.
Yeah, it's a what's the phrase they use?
Perfect information.
There you go. That's it.
There's no luck within 700 miles of this game.
I'm a fan of that, obviously.
I think we say this in every episode that we're talking about the heavy games that we feature, because and then what that is that we're mechanics whores.
Right.
I mean, we just dig mechanics.
Yeah. Theme is secondary. Theme is positive.
Theme is positive,
but not necessary.
And it's clear just in the things we've talked about that there's a lot of cool mechanics going on in this game that we enjoy.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you, and I'll share afterwards, what aspects of this game do you not enjoy? Is there anything about this game that causes a little rumple in your brow?
Yeah, there's a number of things, actually. See if I can get all my thoughts laid out here. First and foremost, I really, truly dislike that shares bought by all the players' companies do not factor in when you liquidate all the money in the company at the end of the game. Those shares are like they were never out there. They don't dilute a company's value at the end of the game. So, for instance, let's say I have 10 shares of my yellow company, and your company has 5 shares of the yellow company, and you, Tony, have none. So in theory, there are 15 shares out there, 10 that I have and 5 that your company has. Mm-hmm. So you would think that if my company at the end of the game, let's say, is worth $75, right? There's $75 cash in my company.
Right.
In theory, you would think every share is worth $5. It would not be worth, but it would be distributed when we liquidate the company at the end of the game for final game scoring.
Right.
However, that's not the case. It would be the 10 shares, the 5 that your company has do not matter whatsoever. So it's like they were never out there, and that bothers me. But then there's the other problem. Players and companies at different times in the game, in the middle of a round, companies can buy and sell stock from other companies. When they do so let's say I am the CEO of the yellow company. The yellow company wants to buy stock in the red company to keep the red company from paying dividends, among other reasons. But that's one of the biggies. Mm-hmm. When I buy that, and let's say the stock is worth $2 a share, and I want to buy 5 shares, that's $10. So you would think that I would pay your company, the red company, whom I'm buying the shares from.
This is why a company sells shares, to earn revenue.
Capital, right. However, that's not the case. I pay it to the bank.
Yeah. And the CEO gets a bonus.
And the CEO, because I bought red shares.
The red CEO gets a bonus.
Yeah, the red CEO gets whatever the share value is. So whether it's $1, $2, $3, or possibly $4. That just doesn't make any damn sense.
No. And I've read in the forums, I think even Andre said it himself, that it's really a game mechanic meant to balance the amount of money in companies and stuff.
Which works.
It does
work.
But that's where all that wonky starts.
Because when you're not selling shares. Well, first off, your company doesn't even physically have its shares. Those are on the main game board.
Right.
And so the game owns them, if you will. And so you're paying the game, but it's shares for my company. And it doesn't make sense to me. It's just the epitome of unintuitive. I understand why he did it.
I totally understand. But maybe it would have been better to just make it work more naturally somehow in the game, because that really throws players, man.
One other thing, and I'll let you, I'm sure you have a list as well.
I got one thing, because that's my major thing too. So I share that with you, the stock thing.
It's just for those that play economic games, understand how unintuitive that is. When you're buying shares from a company, you're trying to, you're putting
gaining capital.
Yeah, exactly, into the company, but not in this game. As you get better at the game, and this is one other gripe I have, is, let me give another quick example. Mm-hmm. I'm the CEO of the yellow company. I have 10 shares of yellow. Your company has 5 shares of yellow, and you have 1 share of yellow. Those 5 shares that your company has do not count when it comes to dissolving my company and cashing it out and finding out how much money I have at the end of the game. Your share does. So let's say there is $70 or say $50 in my company. Even though there's 16 shares out there, the 5 your company has doesn't matter. The 1 you do have matters, and the 10 I have matters. So that we would pay that out. That would be $4 to you. That would be $40 to me for a dollar for each share. Then there is $6 left over. Whoever's the CEO gets that money.
Yeah.
Was that your other thing?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm glad you brought that up, because that sucks, and that kind of dovetails right into the thing my other thing.
Well, before we get to that, let's expand on that a little bit. So what I'm trying to say is, if there's whatever the physical number of shares that are out in the game, whatever the cash value of your company has, it equally distributes that money per share. All right?
Yep.
I hope that's clear.
Yeah, and that makes good sense.
Right. However, any money that's left over, and in the last game, it was a huge amount. It was $20. $20 left over, because there were 24 shares of my company out there. And there was 20, after all that got liquidated, me being the CEO got to pocket $20 left over.
Ultimate embezzlement.
Right. But it's just part of endgame scoring.
Yeah.
And
it's weird.
It's just, again, the epitome of unintuitive.
It's game mechanic-y.
Yeah. It feels gamey.
How much money did I have left in my company that my CEO got at the end? Remember?
One. No. You didn't even get it.
I got the $1.
No. You had 1 share left. Nobody had any shares of red. And you had 1 share, and there was $1 left in your company.
And I got that 1. So that's a huge, huge discrepancy. But why did I get that 1? Why did I only have 1, and why did I only have 1 share?
You did everything in your power to absolutely just disembowel your company.
I played the game the way we've seen
JC
talk about in the
Clear
forums.
Claw.
Clear Claw.
For those that don't know, he's He's very smart when it comes to economic
he called
games.
It pulling a scam, right? So he was just milking the company, tanking it.
And so you were trying to do something
I
to that
wanted
effect.
to try that and see if that would work out.
Nobody cooperated.
No one purchased my company from me, so I never got the second buy options.
Right.
But I still won the game, and I think that sucks. And here's why. Because, like, I'm good with, like, tanking a company being a strategy, but in this game, I got to do none of the fun stuff in the game. I was barely a participant in the manufacturing. I was barely it's like, it was almost like you and Matthew were playing a 2-player game. And I was going to bring that up. Yeah. Fun tanking my company.
And yet you still ended up winning. So my question then is, did Matt and I screw up being able to allow you to do that? And did we not foresee it coming?
Maybe, but
or is it a game flaw?
Well, I don't know, but it's not any fun.
Right. I mean, I hated it. It was almost like you were a shell. Like you were not even an active player in the game. The entire 2 hours.
Matt has sold 6 cubes the whole game.
Right.
Or something stupid
and
like
the
that.
entire last round.
I had 0 factories the entire last round.
Yeah, you did nothing.
I had sold that money, embezzled it, all that kind of stuff. I sold those factories for money, and embezzled the money.
At the end of the game, you won.
By a buck.
By a buck over me. Right. And I did everything I could to run a really good company.
Yeah.
And it was only good enough to take second place. So yeah, that's...
I don't know.
Yeah.
This is what I mean. Like, when we were playing these games, these are we have a lot of these different, I love this, I don't like this, coming up about this game.
Mm-hmm.
So to begin to wrap up our thoughts on Master of Economy, let me summarize how I feel about the game, and let me ask you to do the same.
Sure, shoot.
I think that this is a flawed, but not fatally flawed, heavy economic game with a lot of mechanics I really enjoy, and a couple that are really weird.
Yeah?
Love the factory stuff, love the resource conversion stuff to the marketplace, just rocks.
Oh, the marketplace and the foreign demand, the way that's executed is really, really good.
Wonderful.
Right.
The stock stuff, we just beat it to death, but so this, you could tank a company, and this is a flawed game, but it's a game that has some definite merit, and I feel like everyone, if you're an aficionado of heavy games, you should play it 1 or 2 times and make your own opinion on it and see if those flaws shine through for you or come through for you or not.
No, I think you summed it up well. I mean, to be honest with you, with one caveat that I would say that if you're going to attempt to play this game, you need to play it at least twice before you think about forming an opinion on
your first game will be messed up.
Yeah, it'll be like, wait, what?
And that's one thing we didn't talk about. The rules are not so good. In fact, they have
come on, that's nice.
They have been rewritten by a BGG user and stuff. So your first game is bound to be error.
And hell, Tony, our buddy Tony, and I rewrote the player aid,
right?
Which I need to upload to try and clarify some things, because there's some real. It's because of the translation,
yeah.
But there's some real ambiguity there that makes it a little bit more hard to grok.
You have to make an effort to play this game.
Yes, yeah, right? Yeah, perfect.
But if you're a heavy aficionado, this game is worth that effort. But if you're going to invest that time in it, please play the game 2 times.
At least.
And then make a decision on whether you like it or not.
I think that's a really, really good way to put it. So, yeah, I'll go first.
So we're going to rate now?
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So we're in agreement with my summary.
Yeah, no, awesome. I couldn't have, I would have just been, regurgitating in a different way what you just said.
So, it's been a month since we've done a review of a game like this. So maybe would you lead off by recapping our 1 to 4 system?
Sure. So it's 1 to 4 stars, 1 to 4 elephants, whatever you want. Right.
Yeah.
Basically what it comes down to is a 1 is I don't ever want to play that game again. Period. I played it. I'm done. I don't ever want to see it. Right. The end. A 2 is, yeah, it's not bad. I'll give it a play, but I'm not going to go out of my way to own it. And I'm not going to go out of my way to say, hey, let's play X.
Right.
A 3, however, now we're starting to get to the good stuff. A 3 says, yes, I want to own it. And yeah, I'd like to play it. I don't want to play it all the time. Right. But yeah, I definitely enjoy it.
From time to time.
Right. And a 4 is go buy this damn game.
Right now.
Yep.
Already own it, right?
Yep.
That kind of
right. Or not just own it, but it's something that you're going to find yourself, if you're like us, which if you're listening to this, you are, jonesing to play this game early and often.
Mm-hmm. And the beauty of a 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Get off the damn fence.
Right. Ain't no 2.5s.
And that's
you're on one side or the other.
Really hard on this game for me. So,
but you said you're going to go first. So
yeah, I figure I would because I want to be surprised by, well, obviously neither of us knows what the other rates. We come at this with our own, crib sheet and
this is the first
notes.
time we're hearing each other's stuff.
Yep. And I've struggled with this. We last played our 5th game of this last Thursday. We're recording this on August 18th, which is Monday. Mm-hmm. So I've been chewing this over for the last 4 days.
As have I.
And I can honestly say that I'm not 100% with this rating. Okay. I still am not sold on it, okay? What you said earlier, just a few seconds ago, really resonated with me. And what that is if you're an economic fan, heavy economic fan, you have to make an effort to play this game. And that is the crux of the problem. Almost every other game, take Democker, take Wildcatters, take an 18XX, doesn't matter. You play those games, you're going to be able to see, it's pretty transparent. You might not exactly understand how things are going to play out at the end, but at least it's making sense. This game isn't that. The fact that you have to make an effort to play it, like you really have to...
You got to read those rules tightly. You got to look at the different translation.
And you have to really figure... It's so hard to
verbalize.
To verbalize. The fact that out of the box, like Craftsman, tough game. It's going to be a pain in the butt as far as strategy. You were mind twist. There you go, right? However, I'm going to understand what it is I'm trying to do, and that's not this game. And that's the problem I have with it. And that's why I'm having such a hard time. Because I think I could make a case to giving it a 2, and I could make a case giving it a 3. So I'm going to give my rating with a caveat.
All right. I will hear your caveat.
Okay.
And decide if I will give you a waiver. Because we said there's no caveat.
Right, there's no
2.5s.
It depends on the type of person you are, because I feel like everybody that's listening to this enjoys heavy games, but they don't necessarily like heavy economic games. Maybe. And they might not be willing to put in the work that this game is going to take to enjoy, to find the gem in there.
Right.
Okay. To chisel away the rock.
Good one.
If you're willing to do that, it's a 3. Only if you're willing to put in the work that this game is going to require. If you're not, leave it alone. I would almost say it's a 1. If you're not willing to put in that work, yeah, in fact, you know what? I'm going to cut the 2 out of it.
Right.
If you're willing to put in the work and you're willing to really sit down and play it 2, 3, 4 times and really try and wrap your head around it, I think it's a 3. I think it's a really cool, it does a lot of things right. However, because of that unintuitiveness and just certain things just don't make sense and they feel gamey, which I hate in a game.
Yeah.
Not that it removes you from the theme. It's just, it removes you from the game. It doesn't work right. Thematically.
Yeah. No.
You know what I'm trying to say?
I do.
And so if you're not willing to put in that work, it's a 1. Stay away from the game. It's not going to be good. But for me personally, I've put in the work.
I know.
And I like it.
I know.
However,
and you bought it.
I bought it. However, I was dreading playing our last play. We said that we both needed another play to really feel comfortable giving it an honest review.
And I wanted to play the tanking strategy.
Right. So we wanted to play it one more time. But I really didn't want to, dude.
I know, because I had asked like 3 times.
And I was trying to find reasons to not do that, but I knew we needed to for it.
Yes.
But now, after I played, even though I hated the way your strategy played out, and the fact that you didn't even play the damn game and you won, I feel like there's something fundamentally flawed with that.
Yeah.
But I had fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the brain burn.
You mentioned that when we were playing or near the end or when we were done cleaning up, you were like, I really, wasn't uber excited about it.
No, hell, I was dreading playing the game, dude.
But that you had a good time.
Yeah. So, how the hell do you rate that?
See, this game, and it's an odd duck.
Yeah.
And you don't, this is the kind of thoughts, it's confusing about how you feel about the game.
And it pisses me off because it's such a good game in there.
This conversation is proving what I said at the beginning about the game when we started talking about MOE.
And
the different emotions are just crazy.
In your pod blast that you did 2 months ago, or however
right.
long, the first word you said,
putrid.
Some people really hate this game.
Yeah.
We're not those people. However, I don't love the game. So
I think this. Let me comment on your rating.
All right. Yeah, that's a long way to say I don't know.
I am going to allow you to do that rating.
Okay.
Because here's why. I think that you're saying that this game's a 3 for you.
Yeah.
Because you bought it.
Sure.
And you did have fun playing it. It took you a bit to get used to back to the table.
I had to import the game.
It's not a 4.
Mm-mm.
Right?
Absolutely
the fact
not.
that you bought it differentiates the 2 and the 3, I think, in my mind. You going to keep Master of Economy in your collection?
Yeah, I'm a collector.
Oh, okay, then. It's a 3. It's a 3, folks.
Yeah, that's true, because if it were lower, it'd be like Global Mogul, and I'd kick that thing out of here as fast as possible.
All right, so for me, I'm giving the game a 2.
Oh, okay.
It's not a 1, because if somebody wanted me to teach it and wanted me to play, I would. But if someone said, Tony, would you like to buy my copy? I would say no. So it's not a 3. It's a 2.
Okay.
Well, with all of that, that's Master of Economy. And, Anjay, thanks, man, because you've really caused with your game a lot of interesting discussion between Ed and I and the people we've been playing this game with over the past couple months.
While there are things that we don't like about it, there's a lot that we do. And I'll be honest, I don't think there's another game that I've played that has generated more thought and more conversation about a game between both you and I and everybody else we played, period, of any game that I've played. And that's got to be a good thing, right?
I think it is. Yes, sir.
So, yeah, that's Master of Economy. So let's lighten it up a little now that we've come out of our
exercised our demons,
right? And our frustration with trying to rate Master of Economy. So it's been a while since we messed around, kind of catching each other off guard with BGG stuff. So let me start off here. We both followed BGG's live stream, at least the first day or two. And we've seen Joel Eddy's drive-through review kind of geek list thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that got me thinking, since obviously we weren't there, we didn't buy anything, although I did buy proxy Panamax. Is there anything that you saw that either got added, put on your radar, or taken off your radar, or that exceeded expectations, or was like, oh, in hindsight, no? So I'll start up to give you an example.
Sounds good.
So
what are you going to go with? Exceeded?
Yeah, we'll start there.
Okay.
Things that either I was kind of on to begin with, that now I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to check that out.
Okay.
And I think one of these will surprise you, the other maybe not.
Okay.
The one that maybe not is because it's a guy I interact with a lot on Twitter now, is Ignacy Trzewiczek.
Right.
And Imperial Settlers.
Yay!
That game, I still am not a fan of the artwork. Okay,
Yeah,
I don't like that. However, the game looks pretty damn cool, dude.
So what was your opinion of that in our preview show? I can't remember now.
I thought I was kind of about it.
That's what I feel.
Yeah,
like it was like my number 7 or something.
Right,
yeah.
And I was like, really? But yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Good job.
So there's that. Yeah, thanks. And this one's going to shock the hell out of you, I think.
Munchkin?
Almost. Okay. Almost. That almost made it, but just missed the cutoff list. Munchkin, get the hell out of here. So the thing is, is a guy that I really appreciate his opinion, and he and I are real similar. Guy by the name of Jimmy on BGG, Butterfly, something or other, I think. He's raving about 5 tribes.
No, whoa. Back it up. Beep, beep, beep. Now, on 5 tribes, let me quote you from our preview show. This is all you, Tony.
Yep. Bruno Cathala and Days of Wonder. 2 things I never thought. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to like the game, but I'm interested in trying it.
Okay.
I am. He said it's really easy to teach, and everything I saw, I mean, people were just gaga over this game. But to be honest with you, take that with a grain of salt because of, again, it's Days of Wonder and it's Bruno Cathala. I mean, nothing against the guy.
Stuff, right?
Sure, but it's lighter. Exactly, and that's the
Yeah.
thing. But, however, some people whose opinions I trust really say it's a really good game. And
Bruno's geeked up about it. You can tell because he's blogging the hell out of it.
Right.
And, you know, he thinks it's his gamer's game and stuff like that. So,
again, grain of salt, but
yeah.
I've gone from, oh God, no, to, yeah, I'm kind of curious to try it. So, absolute try before I buy. But I'm pretty sure you'll end up getting a copy, and I'll piggyback off of yours and decide there. So yeah, I know that's a shock to you.
Cool.
So how about you? Anything that got added to your radar, which that would be impressive, seeing as we covered everything.
Yes.
Or
there were,
or that went up in your opinion.
Well, there's one that
other than Panamax,
I've kind of other than Panamax that I've kind of like whatever, just kept like a distant eye on, but kind of really unsure. And I don't know if it will go up or down, but it's something that I'm going to watch Joel's video on. That's Pay Dirt.
I backed it. I told you that, right? And to be honest with you,
the wear on the machines,
right?
Like, it looks like there's some cool mechanics in there. There was one new one that did show up on my radar, New Bedford. About whaling, and so that might be kind of interesting.
Again, the theme interests me. I haven't watched anything, but I saw somebody saying they're really torn, that they're totally anti-whaling, just the concept of it, but that they're fans of Moby Dick and Herman Melville and all that, and so they're torn on that. So anything stay the same or anything go down for you?
Well, one looks like it's going to be underwhelming. And it's not one that you were interested in.
Right.
It's one that I don't know if I was interested in, and I'm not now. Again, sticking with the Bruno Cathala theme, Abyss. You know, the box covers look awesome, and the art looks wonderful and everything, but whatevs.
Yeah, the game doesn't... I haven't heard a whole lot of raving good stuff about it, to be honest with you.
It will end up in the Abyss. What about you?
Well, there's...
So, wait a minute. You asked me 2 questions. So let's ask them both back to you.
Okay.
Underwhelmed and new to your radar.
Nothing new to the radar, to be honest. Well, no, I take that back. It was something that I was aware of, but it's not something I'm jonesing for. But the new game is Stronghold Games. It's a card game coming out from them called Diamonds. Yeah. Trick taking supposed to be pretty cool. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm interested, but nothing to really write home about, and really this isn't the podcast for that.
Right.
The one that kind of reaffirmed what I thought about it was Castles of Mad King Ludwig. I have a couple of friends from Geek Chat League that helped demo the game and said, yeah, this is the successor of Suburbia that Subdivision wants to be, but this is the game to get, not Subdivision. Right. And so I was pretty excited about it, and they said, yeah, it's pretty good. But the one that kind of, I'm not going to say went down in my opinion, because it looks fantastic. It's just not for me. And that's Battle of the Five Armies. Yeah. Too tactical for my liking. And like you know, I'm more operational, strategic type. And so they just, not my wheelhouse, but it looks great.
Never on mine.
Right. But it looked great. So yeah, that's, Gen Con. Basically, in a nutshell, what changed, in our opinion.
Yeah.
So I think we did a pretty good job of gauging what we would think of games for the most part in our preview. Although the majority are still to come because it's Essen.
Still question marks.
Right. But yeah, so far so good. How about you? Anything?
Yeah, what I want to do is start the conversation going between me and you. Mm-hmm. And us and our listeners about the Schwere Spiel des Jahres, the heavy game of the year, heavy cardboard heavy game of the year, 2013, by throwing out there a little bit of initial criteria I use to think of some games, and put out there 8 games that I want to just throw out on the table for you and listeners to comment on, and then, you know, let's get some feedback rolling in the community and stuff like that. And then you and I, as the year winds to a close, let's get our criteria down, let's get our list down, let's put out our 3 candidates, our 3 recommendations, etc., just like the SDJ and stuff does.
Cool. I actually, not to steal your thunder or anything, I floated this idea a couple weeks ago to our followers on Twitter, and actually got a couple folks to give us some feedback and give like their top 3 is what I asked them for. So
we'll factor that in.
Yeah, absolutely. But hopefully we're going to get more than just a couple few, you know, feedback. So please, listeners, hook us up. So without further ado, let's hear these 8.
So just to do these 8, I just did a little BGG searching, right? 2013, with an average weight of 3.5 or higher.
Okay.
If it's below that, screw it. It's not heavy.
Although,
but to
his defense, the BGG weight ranking isn't the end-all, be-all.
No, it's not. It's not. It was just a place to start.
Right. Yeah,
because a lot of games are newer. They won't have enough, you know, blah, 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 all that stuff. So, the Capitals.
Okay. Enjoyed that.
Madeira.
Yeah, I've heard something about that game. Right.
Wildcatters.
Heard something about that one, too.
Brussels 1893.
Not a fan of the artwork. Good game, though.
Bora Bora.
Feld's heaviest to date.
Caverna is actually rated at 3.8 weight. Weird. I don't find it that heavy.
And to drive home the point,
it was on the list.
Okay.
So, you know.
So, yeah.
Coal and Colony.
Okay.
And Craftsman. Craftsman is a 4.2 right now.
Wow. Gonna have our work cut out for us this weekend.
So there's the 8 I want to just throw out there. Get them cooking around in your mind and our listeners' minds. Let's get some conversations, some tweets, some emails.
That's a damn hard list, to be honest.
It's a damn hard list.
Wow. And that's not even touching on, let's see, 18OE.
Right.
1862.
Right.
Cuba Libre.
Cuba Libre is not at the 3.5 threshold.
Really?
It is a 3.4. We can always make it.
Yeah, come on.
Like I said, that was just to get a little list going, right?
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, cool.
So the only one on the list I haven't played is Brussels 1893.
Really?
We're about to play Craftsman.
Right, yeah.
Right. You know, so.
Ironically, I've played all those except for Craftsman.
Right. So
that's cool.
So I need to play Brussels 1893 and Craftsman. And
listeners, even if you haven't played all those, you've played some of them.
Yeah.
Give us some feedback. Tell us what you think. And if there's something that neither of us has mentioned, because this is off the top of my head, please throw it out there. Tell us what games you think should have won the heavy cardboard heavy game of the year
for 2013.
Woohoo! All right, so I got 2 last things.
All right, shoot.
Real quick. First off, Star Realms on the iPad. Amazing. Go get it.
Dude,
the end.
Dude, yeah.
Seriously,
that's
a well spent $5.
$4.99, done.
Yeah,
gone.
I've been playing the hell out of it this weekend.
Same
It's been a blast.
We've been chopping through the campaign game too.
I'm through the first one.
Yeah, same here.
Last but certainly not least for me, there's a thread that I thought was really, really cool. Cool idea. And all it said was your gaming knee-jerk reactions. So when you see a game and you hear the word modular board, is that a positive or a negative for you? Just knowing nothing else about it, so on and so forth.
What's that psychological test where, like word association?
Oh,
red. And
blue, right? Yeah, I got you.
Okay,
right,
so it's like that kind of.
Yeah, kind of. And what this guy wanted people to do is give some things that the game might not be good. You might not enjoy it, but if it had some of these keywords, if you will, it would turn you on or turn you off.
Put it on your radar.
Exactly. There you go. Right. So I came up with a list that is way too many, but I'm just going to run through them real quick and see.
Are you going to quiz me?
Oh, you have some?
No. No, are you going to quiz me with your list? Like, you going to get my reaction? Are we playing word association?
Oh, sure.
Am I going to say good or bad?
Yeah, let's do that. Better idea. I like that.
Okay.
All right, sure.
Okay.
All right. So,
man, you know the list too, though, but I want to hear your good and bad.
Well,
so you ask, I'll say, then you say.
Yeah,
Because
sure.
you've had time to think.
Yep. All right. So, first off, we'll start here. Co-ops.
No way.
Agreed. Variable setup.
Yeah, it could be cool.
Yeah, I dig it. Trains.
Oh, yeah.
Agreed. Auctions. Yeah, like we even need to go there, whatever.
Yeah.
Asymmetry. Or not.
Yeah, as long as it's well balanced or something.
Obvious.
Right?
No, I'm just saying initial. When you hear asymmetry.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. Or not asymmetrical. Or symmetrical, as it were. Yeah.
Whatever.
Both. I agree. 1 hour or less playtime.
See, that's tough. I'll say yeah.
I say no.
Yeah, because you're weird.
Yeah, no, you are.
You just don't have a place in your life for filler.
Sail to India is cool.
It is.
All right. Star Realms is good, right?
Yeah.
So there are exceptions, but I'm saying just as a general rule, real quick, unique theme.
Whatever.
Okay. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I dig that. So you're indifferent. That does
Yeah.
neither good nor bad, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'll go whaling.
Engine building.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Civ building.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Unmitigated luck.
Get out of here.
Right. Terrible. Let's see. Light games.
Sure.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Again, exceptions can be made.
You're a collector.
But
I'm a gamer.
No. That's not fair. I also am a gamer. No, I enjoy games like Black Spy. I enjoy, smaller. I like card games. But it's not my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
I'll play it.
No, I understand.
Is the exception to the rule.
Sure.
Okay. Heavy strategy. That's obvious. Well, see, all these are obvious though. Mitigatable luck. Obviously.
Yeah. Stock manipulation.
Obviously.
Dice rolling.
Maybe. No, see, and that would be indifferent. I could go either way on that depending, because you look at a game like Madeira. That has dice rolling. I'm okay with that.
Totally.
Right. But let's look at a game that you really weren't too keen on, and that's Zaya.
Right.
And you were like, the roll and move. You weren't a fan of that.
Right.
Whereas it wasn't my favorite. You know what I mean? So I could go either way on that.
Yeah. All right. Deck building.
It's funny. 3 months ago, I would have said absolutely not because I really dislike Dominion.
Yeah.
I really don't like it. However, there have been a lot of games recently that I've been playing that have deck building as an aspect that I've really enjoyed.
Star Realms, Rococo, Concordia,
Hands in the Sea. Right. So
some great games.
It's not a turn on, but it's not a turn off like it used to be.
Impulse.
Right. Yeah, no doubt. Right.
Right.
Multiple paths to victory. Who doesn't like that?
Right. Action programming.
Interesting, because I know you're bringing that up because of Kaigan.
Well, but there's lots of games.
Sure. No, I know, but
Ito does action programming.
Like not Yedo, but Ito.
Right.
Never played it.
Good game.
Okay. Indifferent. I would say that doesn't get me really excited.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, well-written rules versus a poor rule book.
Sure.
Oh no, I prefer the poor rule book. I
Yeah,
mean, obviously. So some of these things are givens. Same with artwork. Artwork to me and component quality is a big deal.
Yeah.
I won't not play a game, but it's not going to help it. You know what I mean?
Negotiation.
See, and I was thinking about that one. That's why that's not on my list.
Oh.
Could take it or leave it because there are certain negotiation games that I just not my thing.
You like Chinatown?
Never played it.
Oh, okay.
Love it. So it has a place, and yeah, I don't know what backstabbing, traitor mechanic.
Ooh, trader mechanic.
So like BSG,
often
that type of thing.
They're often in a co-op though.
That's true, and that's why again it's not on my list.
2-player.
Well, you didn't answer that though.
No.
Okay, so
in general, because they're
I agree.
2-player.
Yeah, I have no qualms with that. Yeah, party game. I'm not even going to go there, but yeah, that's pretty much the end of my list. So
that's
I think
that's a cool little exercise.
Yeah, I think that's fun. Something. I mean, although to be honest with you, if people never met us and they've only listened to the 6 episodes now that we've done, and the, I don't know, 5 or 6, however many pod blasts we've done, I bet you they would be able to answer those for us.
Yeah, probably.
I think so. I think we've done a good job of putting ourselves out there as far as who we are and what we like, right?
One more.
Okay.
Dexterity.
Absolutely, because Crokinole is amazing.
Yeah.
Not all dexterity games.
No, I hear you.
Because there was this hammer thing.
Oh, yeah.
I don't. Yeah, that was weird.
I like that pirate ship one. I can't think of its name now.
Riffraff.
Riffraff is fun.
That looks cool.
And
animal to animal. I got you.
Yeah. I can't think of the one. It's like Bausack or whatever. The German. With the
hamster
shapes.
rolls?
No. So anyway.
But yeah, like games.
Bandu is the other
All right,
name of it.
No idea.
Fun.
But yeah.
It's auction of dexterity game. It's killer. It's a mean auction too.
Dude, we're going to have to find out more about this.
Yeah,
all right.
Fun. It's fun.
So you got anything else?
No, sir.
All right. Are we done rambling then?
I think we're done rambling.
All right. What? An hour and a half, hour 50, whatever. If they like it, they'll listen. If not, whatever.
Well, I will say this.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure being in your company this evening rather.
Right.
And getting back to our format once again and rocking and rolling. I'm really, really happy to have this episode in the can, and I can't wait for our next one.
Yeah, obviously he's talking about Panamax and
then the next one, Fire in the Lake. I mean, my God.
Hopefully Fire in the Lake, if we can get enough plays in.
You're right.
And just for anyone that hasn't listened to previous episodes, I don't know how many plays most reviewers do before they review a game. Like, you take a guy, and this is by no means...
well, don't say any names. Just,
other reviewers out there who get a lot of games sent to them. I have no idea how many. I have no frame of reference. Yeah. So we try and do 4 or 5 plays to be able to really, in a cross-player counts if possible, to try and get a real feel for what the game is.
Yeah.
Because the one that I always use whenever this comes up is Spirium. I loved Spirium the first time I played it, and liked it a lot less each time I played it. After the 4th time I played it, I was like, I'm done. Get rid of it. Yeah, I got rid of mine as well. So that's why I feel like 1 or 2 plays can really skew your view one way or the other. But no, I take that back. Not one way or the other.
It's just not a good sample size.
Well, no, I would disagree to that. Now here, 1 to 2 games, I would say 2 of a game you don't like. If you don't like it after 2 plays, you're not going to like it.
Yeah, that's cool.
So the give or take part, I would say just the give. If you like it, I would say more than 2 plays to make sure that you really do. If you don't like it after 2 plays, you probably aren't going to like it. So yeah, that's why we try and do 4 or 5, maybe even 6 if you're Panamax. Again, I mean, we're half joking with this game, but we are both really excited about it. My big concern right now, to be honest with you, going into our next episode for this weekend, is we've boosted Panamax to this unattainable level.
Our minds.
Yeah, and we're like, I mean, can it live up to it? I mean, I really, really like Madeira, but damn, I mean, hopefully if it's on par with Madeira, it's a win.
Absolutely.
I don't need it to be better. I'm hoping it is, but yeah.
In that wheelhouse would be great.
Yeah.
Madeira is just an incredible game.
Yep. So there we are.
All right. Well, tell our listeners how to reach us one more time, and we'll sign off.
All right. So we're most active on Twitter, and that's @HeavyCardboard. You also obviously can email us, heavycardboard@gmail.com. Our website, heavycardboard.com, and last and certainly not least on Facebook, Heavy Cardboard. So yeah, that's about it. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks from today.